start off with the 10 questions with regarding to running a livestock system with Tom Meehan from Spar and Roscam in Galway and Mace in Tuam. Tom, a few questions just really to get an idea as to the livestock system, and why did you originally start to work with a livestock system?
In 2004, when we initially opened up the first store, we did our first stock take circa 3 months just after opening. That's when it coincided with a year end. And we found that the actual margin we achieved was off budget. And my experience taught me in the wholesale business, which I derived from and observing the older generation, how they run their business, that the best way to run a business was by an invoice, basically, the old way. And I found that with the advent into retail, that an awful lot of the invoices were coming in with zero prices through the hub. So the only way we could actually get a correct margin per invoice was by using the scanner to scan in the system, scan the stock in to get it off the hub price. So therefore, we were taking the stock into the system, and it evolved from that, basically.
Very good. And why did you decide at that stage of the business? Was it at the very beginning you started, or?
Well, it evolved, and it was logical, and it seemed to make perfect sense that you have the evolution of technology, that all the tools were there. We weren't doing anything special. We were just using what we had. So we did our stock take. We put the stock up in the system, and thereafter all we had to do was to check the goods in using the devices the tools that were already in place. So what's the difference between holding an electronic device and checking something, and holding a pencil and checking something? And we found that it installed great discipline.
Very good. So it showed the staff a bit more, that there was more control and more attention being made to the stock.
And there's accountability, which is very, very important, because when someone scans it in, you actually have a record. And if they scan it in correctly, it matches the invoice total. And if they scan it in incorrectly, it doesn't match the invoice total. Because human error or not, you're able to go back and you're able to engage that person and show them the importance of checking in, or was there a genuine error. And we found that it gave great focus to it.
Very good. What did you do to prepare for to moving to a livestock system? Because I take it when you opened the doors all those years ago, you didn't start straight away with a livestock system, or did you?
No, we didn't. And with best intentions with the second store, we attempted it, and it invariably failed on the transfer and the opening of the second store. Now, that's not to say that we haven't it going now. And I do believe if I ever open a third store, I will still endeavour to get it going from day one. But day one it is difficult on a new store opening. There's so much happening in such a short space of time. But to get back to the main question there, the preparation really is the involvement and the engagement of the staff, and the cooperation and the training from your vendor and your IT side, and a reasonable only knowledge of the back office, and to make sure that you update your invoices daily. And it sounds like a lot, but really it's not. So you go home every day having a very clear desk. All your goods are put into place. You know what you've got. You know what the stuff has cost you. And you know what you're holding. So I think it's a very, very great reward for not an awful lot of effort.
Okay, so the key points being the staffing and the knowledge of the IT system, how to receive the goods, and how to manage the technical side of it.
Absolutely, it's the education and the training of the staff and the buy-in that they do see now in hindsight. Absolutely, as it evolves in both stores, the staff are totally bought in now. The benefits to them really are that if they're doing an order, if they're checking stock levels, if they're looking for something, they can now trust that if they scan a particular product or barcode on the shelf, if it says there's a case in the store, there's a case in the store. If it says that there isn't, there isn't. They trust and they can understand the system. Secondly, and most importantly, from the customer's point of view, nothing goes to the counter that doesn't scan. As if it's checked in properly, it must scan through the system. And that's a huge bonus. You know, we have 100% scan rate here in both stores, and I think that's a testament the system can work and does work properly.
The main reason that or stumbling block why premises don't implement a livestock system is to say, well, it's going to take me, there's going to be so much more additional labour required in order to get the system working. What would you say to them about that?
What is the system like? What we're all trying to achieve in business is increase our sales basically and increase our profitability. By having a good stock system in place means you have the knowledge and the information to stock the correct lines and the correct stock levels of those lines. Secondly, you're making the profit on it. And as regards to the labour costs, well, my first point was, what's the difference between checking it in with a pencil and checking it in electronically? And secondly, if it's not been checked in, it's been put in a box, and some accountant or somebody that's costing you far, far more than what you're paying your floor staff is going to check it at the back end of the year. So you're just really moving the pieces around the chessboard. But I could firmly say, if not prove, that there's absolutely increase in labour costs and probably saving.
Mm-hmm. Has it been easy to implement?
No. There is disciplines, and you must be totally committed to it. But once you get, and I keep going back to this, once you get the involvement and the buy-in of every member, and it is paramount that the word every member staff has the training, the knowledge and the understanding of it, it works very, very well. So it is the engagement and the buy-in and the training of the staff that is crucial. You cannot be there for opening and you cannot be there for closing. But the good thing about it is there's accountability. And the way we know it works well, and the one area of it that really gave us the initial rewards is how accurate the newspapers were. That we were scanning them in and we were turning them back, and they were matching per copy what we're getting back from the suppliers on both charges in and returns coming back in again. So we knew that it was happening throughout the system, and that to me was the real reward.
Has your business changed as a result of it? And has your stock levels reduced or your ordering improved?
Your business fundamentally wouldn't change about your stock, because that's not really a management function. But your business runs better as a result of it. Insofar as that, when you have your handheld device there, depending on your vendor, but all vendors are getting very, very up to speed with this because they see the urgency in getting this right. You pick up a device and you scan a product. Most of them now will give you your previous 2 orders and your previous 4 week sales and your stock holding. Now, isn't that a fantastic bit of information to have in your hand when you're buying?
Absolutely. From the accurate stock taking side of things, how has that improved the business? Is that an important part to make sure that everything is running along accordingly? The stock taking side of it.
Stock taking side of it is it's almost like a continuation. If you do the simple things correctly all the time, everything should fall into place. That being said, though, it is vitally important that, for me, that you get an independent person in to stock check your business. At least we're doing it biannually. That's every 6 months, on account of the confidence we have in the system, that we would know it. We would then run a variance between their reports and our reports, and we find the accuracy to be at about 99.5%. But the outside input is also very important, just as a cross-check. It has to be counted anyhow, the staff have to be paid, but we find the outside expertise is great and it gets done at record time.
So you still continue with your own cycle counts of certain departments?
Cycle counts of certain departments, key departments, could happen weekly and daily. Key high value lines with the kind of variances would happen daily, the likes of the lottery, the scratch cards, tobacco weekly, alcohol bi-weekly. But there's no massive work on it where people would think you could go out and do it, because it could simply be literally a checklist where you can print off your stock valuation report on a piece of paper and you can walk your shelves and you just tick it, or you can randomly check 20 items, 30 items, and if you're happy with them, you can make the assumption. So it's not like you have to pull your place apart or say, oh, I have to do a massive stock count. When it's up and running, you can do spot check variances, and if you're happy with them, you don't spend much time on them, and if you're not happy with them, you can drill down and you can focus. But the most important thing is you are in control.
So a basic general checking process to make sure that everything stacks up right, and pick different departments, and you're not doing the same one every single time. You're just doing random spot checks to make sure that things are going right.
Outside of the key departments of tobacco and lottery will be done. Lottery will be done daily, the lottery scratch cards, the reconciliation on the high value items that wouldn't really be stock items, such as the virtuals, the call credits will be reconciled daily, tobacco weekly, and alcohol spot checked bi-weekly, and other departments randomly.
Yeah. The livestock system in general, it's the bottom line is what people want to know from your own experience, not talking about monetary terms, but in a percentage terms. How would you say that has added to your business?
I could comfortably say with the knowledge it gives you, the accuracy of the information, that it is worth at least 1.5 to 2% net bottom line.
Net bottom line.
Net bottom line, which is phenomenal.
So why would people not do this? If they can get
Logically,
those type of results, why would they not do it?
I cannot understand why not. I really can't. If someone came into you today and says, I can give you 1.5% to your bottom line, and they're a consultant, you might hand them over 7,000 or 8,000, and you say, isn't he absolutely fantastic? These are at your disposal. It's about discipline, it's about understanding, and it's about commitment. That's all it's about. And don't we do that every single day of the week in other departments in our business? Why are we afraid of this one?
Yeah. You've been using this now for a couple of years. If you were to talk to someone who is in the situation that we want to run with a livestock system, what would be the 3 main bits of advice, or the key points with implementing the livestock system?
The first thing I would do is I would not jump into it. It's not something that you're going to wake up on a Monday morning and say, I'm going to start livestock taking today. Fundamentally, you must get the buy-in of your staff, the training and the understanding of it. The second thing is you must get to understand your back office system a small bit better, and then discipline yourself. And the Irish word smacht, I believe, is it. You discipline your smacht.
That's right, yeah.
And that's all it takes.
So discipline on yourself, your staff, and know your IT system, your EPOS system.
And there's not a lot of difficulty because your EPOS system is there. These tools are there. It's not, nobody's going to say to you have to buy this or do this or do the other thing. My understanding is 90% of these features are already there. It's a knowledge, it's an understanding of your EPOS system, and it is my understanding that they're almost it's part of your contract with them. If you're on maintenance contract, that they'll help you, they'll educate you, they'll train you on this. So that's not an issue. The staffing issue is just a matter of getting it from the pen to the handheld device, by using the back office system a bit more. And the third thing is your leadership is the most crucial thing. You must show leadership and belief in it. If you turn around and you say, this will never work, well, that's the excuse they're going to use. If you say this will work, you can install the belief in them, and it does work.
Great. Tom, fantastic information, and thanks very much for sharing it with us.
Thank you.